So good to see you, television family. We're back. It is the 19th day of January 2022. According to my calendar, it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. Yes, the unmistakable theme song to Winning Wednesday, now available to download on iTunes. No, it's not. Once again, Wenatchee Wild. Thank you very much. Our friends at the Wenatchee Wild, we got them again. Really good seats to any future Wenatchee Wild home game, regular season that you want to go to. The Cranbrook Bucks are going to be in town Thursday and Friday, tomorrow and Friday, and then other home games are in the schedule. As we know by now, the Wenatchee Wild's home schedule has been very much in flux because of COVID, but they're going to cram in as many games as they possibly can. You want to go see Wenatchee Wild, or you want to go for free? Look at the bottom of your screen. It's winner at ncwlife.com. Again, it's an email entry. That's how you get in the drawing. You email me, winner at ncwlife.com. Once again, as we've been doing for weeks and weeks and weeks, 2 winners, 4 tickets, 2 winners each get 4 tickets. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. Winner at ncwlife.com. The usual rules apply. It's 1 entry per email address. If you have more than 1 email address, you can enter more than once, but you can't enter over and 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 over again on the same email address. We keep track of these things. And of course, employees of Local Telecommunications, Solion Broadcasting, and their immediate families are not eligible. Sorry, Grant. And of course, if you do not enter the contest, you cannot win the contest. That's really the most important thing of all. No entry, no chance of winning. Winner at ncwlife.com. We'll do the drawing a little bit later on this morning. Thank you very much to the Wenatchee Wild. These could be yours by the end of the day today. Sick and tired of the cloudy, gray, foggy weather? Guess what? We got one more day of it today, and the big changes are coming. Big changes are coming. A frontal system's going to come through, going to scour out the skies. We're going to have a transition period with some rain and some freezing rain, and maybe even a little bit of snow. But once we get through that transition period, the inversion layer will be out of here, and we're in for some sunshine and mild temperatures. Bring it on. Weather coming up. Well, weather is always coming up. The weather forecast, let me be specific, is coming up. News, we'll check that box. Sports, Ken Norton Jr., unemployed this morning. The defensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks officially let go yesterday. We'll have Pete Carroll's reaction to that, plus scores from whatever high school games were able to be played last night. There's still some issues with COVID in high school sports. Everything else you need to start your day. And because we love them so much, and I told them we'd give them a couple of airings, we're going to re-air the interview I did with Marriah Thornock and Mike Kintner of Wenatchee's Rotary. Their biannual auction, they do it every other year, is coming up at the Wenatchee Convention Center on Saturday, January 29th. They want you to buy tickets. They want you to come and bid and buy really cool stuff, and all of it goes to a really good cause for the kids in North Central Washington. Marriah and Mike will be joining us in the back half of the program. 3 minutes after the hour, 27 degrees. Guess what? It's cloudy and foggy and misty. Let's see what we have out there. By the way, I'm told, and I just looked at the DOT cameras out there on I-90, Moses Lake and Ritzville. It's really foggy there. I mean, it's very dense, thick fog out of the Columbia Basin. Heads up there. It's very hard to see where you're going. That's got to be the Wenatchee Heights camera. You can see a little sliver. The Jump-Off Ridge camera. Jump-Off Ridge. You can see a little sliver of Wenatchee Heights on your left-hand side of your screen. If you squint, you can make out the cross. Out there somewhere is the Wenatchee Valley. You can make out Birch and Badger Mountain, and that's basically about it. And a little bit of the Stimmel Basin down below from Jump-Off Ridge. Camera number 2 will take us to, that looks to be Stamen Flats. Stamen Flats, of course, named after the legendary billiard player Minnesota Flats. What we're seeing on the left-hand side of your screen is Douglas County. Again, a bit foggy and a bit cloudy. The days are getting longer. Sunrise this morning, 7:40, sunset 4:43, 9 hours and 3 minutes of daylight, gaining about 90 seconds of daylight a day. We're liking that. Camera 3. We say good morning to Orondo Rock. One of our lower cameras makes it very handy to use when we get the clouds and the fog and the inversion layer. Now, it looks like it's pretty clear up there, and it's really not that far from the Wenatchee Valley. As we look up Lake Annie out to your left, that is Orondo proper that you see off into the distance, the Orondo Rock camera on US 97 and Highway 2 on the Douglas County side of the river. Camera 4 will take us to, that's a beautiful, beautiful view of, I want to say it's the Badger Mountain camera. It is the Badger Mountain camera. So the only thing, I'm sorry? It's pointed at, oh, it's right, it is. It's pointed at my house. If you squint, you can see my home. That's the Wenatchee foothills off into the distance there. Apparently, Uriah forgot to have the bolts on his neck tightened this morning. This could be a long show. The Wenatchee Valley, you are down there somewhere. Trust me, you haven't gone anywhere. Dense fog out in the Columbia Basin is a big problem right now. Not so much here in the Wenatchee Valley. Take a look at that gray area right around that ribbon of I-90. We've been on this before. I remember a couple of times driving between Spokane and Ritzville when you couldn't see 10 feet in front of your car. It's very nerve-wracking and white-knuckle driving, and that's what they're going with right now. There's a dense fog advisory for the swath that you see colored in gray out in the Columbia Basin. It will burn off and dissipate later on this morning, but boy, not very fun to drive if you can't see where you're going. Now, we here in the Wenatchee Valley have a shot of a little bit of freezing rain tonight into Thursday morning. This is a very important slide to show you because you're going to be looking for these pink stars. Yeah, you see that? That's the wintry precipitation we're expecting overnight tonight into Thursday afternoon. As you can see, the Wenatchee Valley, the Waterville Plateau, and out of the Columbia Basin, we could be in that bullseye for a little bit of freezing rain as this moist frontal system comes in. We still have that cold air, cold, dry air trapped on the valley floor, warm, moist air above it, falls as rain, freezes before it gets to the ground. You know the scenario. So this could be a problem tonight into tomorrow. Now, we could even see a little bit of light snow, but the real thing we're keeping an eye on is some freezing rain. Could be a pretty dicey commute tomorrow. And then things change really, really good. We're going to be in for a very nice stretch of weather starting tomorrow afternoon. And the 6 to 10 day outlook for next week, this is next Monday through Friday, normal temperatures, normal precipitation for the most part. Looks to be typical January weather. The one difference that we're going to see next week that we haven't had in a while is sunshine. The inversion layer will be out of here starting tomorrow morning. So, without any further ado, cloudy, foggy, well, we got another day of this. Sorry. They say 37. I don't think we're going to get near that. We didn't even get to 30 yesterday. 29 was the high, 25 was the low. Another cold, gray, raw, foggy, cloudy day. But things are going to change starting tonight. In the wee small hours of the morning, while you're sleeping, I'm assuming, could see some snow, could see some rain, could see some freezing rain. The snow level is going to start at 1,300 feet, but as this frontal system comes through, bringing in that warm air, it's going to go way up. It's going to go up to about 7,000 feet. Overnight low of about 30 degrees. Tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up with some freezing rain, and then all of that ends, and by the time we get to Thursday afternoon, the sun will be out. So cloudy and rainy and freezing rain in the morning, sunshine Thursday afternoon, and look at the high tomorrow, 46 degrees. And then we go for a very nice stretch of weather because another high-pressure ridge will come in, move in from the south, will establish itself, and unlike the other high-pressure ridge that we have right now, which is flat, this one's going to be more domish, which means it's going to keep inclement weather away from us. So sunshine. We're still going to have a little bit of patchy fog each morning throughout this forecast period. That's part and parcel for the middle of January. So after a little bit of morning fog, it burns off 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and then sunshine Friday. We do it again on Saturday, maybe a little bit cooler because of the clear skies. We'll have some cooler overnight temperatures for the lows. Outside of that, it'll be nice to see our good friend, the sun, again here on the valley floor. And Mr. Sunshine will be paying us a visit by Thursday afternoon. But again, chance of freezing rain, not out of the question overnight tonight into Thursday morning. You were forewarned. Passes are looking good. Brought to you by D.A. Davidson, the strength of a trusted partner and personalized solutions to meet your financial needs. Member SIPC. That is Stevens Pass, who was, of course, named after the first territorial governor of the state of Washington, Isaac Pass. And right now, traction tires are advised. The roadway is bare and wet. A couple of patches of frost and ice and snow here and there, but you're okay. Traction tires are advised. Again, it's the diciest part of Stevens is right at the summit, the last 2 or 3 miles on either side. Blewett is fine. No advisories, no restrictions. The roadway is bare and dry. Snoqualmie Pass, I-90, bare and wet, overcast. No advisories, no restrictions. Light snow today. No real accumulations. As I mentioned before, the snow level is going to go well above the summits of the passes, so more rain than snow is really in the forecast today, tonight, Thursday night. It's going to be very quiet up in the major mountain passes. We don't anticipate any real problems at all over the next 7 or 8 days. No significant snow coming to the Cascades. Again, traction tires are advised on Stevens, but I think you're okay. Blewett and I-90, no advisories, no restrictions. 10 minutes after the hour, 1 minute break. And then your headlines on this Wednesday morning. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Hi, I'm Katie Jocelyn, and I'm a pediatrician at CVCH. I would like to address some of the hesitancy that many parents may be feeling about the COVID-19 vaccine for their young child. My husband and I both work in the medical field, and we have reviewed the research, and we determined that this vaccine is far safer for our child than getting a COVID-19 infection. I encourage you to talk to your provider and find out if the COVID-19 vaccine is the right choice for your child.
Find ageless beauty at Chelan Valley Skincare. Cindy offers the most up-to-date treatments for personalized skincare. If sagging skin or acne scars are some skin challenges for you, Chelan Valley Skincare offers non-invasive, non-surgical skincare. With up-to-date technology for shorter treatment plans, you'll benefit from Cindy's expertise to help you accomplish your skincare goals. Please stop by their website for details on all their services. Call Cindy today for your free consultation.
12 minutes after the hour, cloudy, foggy, gray, 27 degrees. We're going to deal with this kind of blah weather for one more day. Frontal system comes in, scours out the sky. Say goodbye to the inversion layer. Sunshine expected by Thursday afternoon and right through the forecast period. We start with this story. A 42-year-old Quincy man was killed late yesterday morning in a single-car rollover accident on Highway 28. This happened about a mile west of Quincy. According to the Washington State Patrol, Efren Murillo Tejada was driving a 2006 Toyota Tacoma pickup eastbound on the highway when he left the roadway to the right while attempting to avoid traffic that had stopped on the highway for a vehicle that was making a left-hand turn onto a private driveway. Tejada overcorrected, and that caused the truck to roll over. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Tejada was not wearing a seatbelt. Traffic was blocked and diverted for nearly 3 hours. One vehicle ended up on its top and another ended up on its side. This collision happened on Highway 2 Stevens Pass yesterday morning. Both drivers were sent to the hospital, non-life-threatening injuries. The Washington State Patrol said a 2002 Ford F-350 driven by 64-year-old Marysville man and a 1997 Chrysler Cirrus being driven by a 20-year-old Poseboro woman were both westbound on the highway just east of the summit when they lost control and hit the sedan. So the Ford lost control, hit the sedan. The pickup ended up on its side. The sedan ended up on its roof. Trooper John Bryant said the driver of the pickup was cited for driving too fast for conditions. Both drivers were transported to Cascade Medical Center in Leavenworth, where they were treated and released. An East Wenatchee woman pled guilty last week to child abuse that left her infant with multiple broken bones. But in her plea, 32-year-old Laura Elaine McCarver says she was merely an accomplice, and prosecutors are seeking a more severe conviction for the child's father. Judge Brian Huber sentenced McCarver to a total of 36 months in prison with court-ordered addiction treatment. Police believe the child's father, 37-year-old Tyler Vance Metcalf of Cashmere, primarily committed the abuse that left the 5-week-old with a broken shin bone, a skull fracture, and multiple broken ribs, and that McCarver failed to seek timely medical care for the boy. Metcalf faces trial later this month on charges of first-degree child assault and criminal mistreatment. A 31-year-old Moses Lake man has been arrested in that January 7th shooting at the McDonald's on North Stratford Road in Moses Lake. Dakota Michael Johnson is currently lodged in the Grant County Jail on assault and robbery charges. The Columbia Basin Herald is reporting that the victim was in the same vehicle as Johnson at the McDonald's at about 10 p.m. Again, this was back on January 7th, when police say he attempted to leave. Johnson, who was in the backseat of the vehicle, allegedly pulled a gun, demanded money, and then shot the victim in the thigh. Johnson turned himself in to police 2 days later. The number of COVID-19 patients at Central Washington Hospital took a big jump over the weekend. 32 people are now hospitalized locally with the COVID virus. In its previous report, which was last Friday, There were 19 COVID patients at the Wenatchee Hospital. Confluence Health reported that 5 of the current 32 patients are in the intensive care unit. 12 of the hospitalized from Chelan County, 9 from Douglas County, 3 from Grant County, and 1 each from Okanagan, Adams, Ferry, Stevens, Franklin, Thurston, Yakima, and Asotin counties. In addition, Confluence Health reported on Monday that just over 30% of people taking COVID-19 tests locally have tested positive for the virus. Schools in Warden have switched to remote instruction this week. There is a surge in COVID-19 cases affecting both students and staff. The district says it went to remote learning because, and I'm quoting now, we are no longer able to safely provide instruction in person, end quote. The remote instruction will go through on Friday, and then all students are supposed to be back in the classrooms come next Monday. 24 Warden students have tested positive for coronavirus over the last couple of weeks. 2 staff members have also tested positive. It's not the only school district that's experiencing disruptions. 2 classrooms in Moses Lake have sent their students to remote learning. And in OMAC, all students in grades 6 through 12 went remote yesterday because of the available teachers are very few and a lack of substitutes. Let's take you back to January 6th, that record snowfall. Well, of course, it presented a problem for the city of Wenatchee's snow removal ordinance. Residents and property owners are required to clear the snow from their sidewalks after a snowstorm, but if they refused, the city wasn't going to do the job. Well, on Thursday, the city council adopted a new ordinance that says Wenatchee crews will clear those neglected sidewalks in the future, but after they do that, they're going to send a bill to the landowner.
As you know, it is a long time since the 1960s city requirement that residents have to remove snow from their sidewalk adjacent to their property. And we gave people some grace, and we started getting calls earlier this week that sidewalks, especially in high pedestrian areas near schools, were not being cleared. We really needed a way to be able to require people to remove it right now, or allow the city to go in there and then seek reimbursement. So that was the goal of this emergency ordinance, for the city to give notice 24 hours, and if they don't respond, then the city can hire a contractor to come in and clear that sidewalk. And then after the winter period is over, then we would then file an assessment to seek reimbursement. We identified 2 blocks outside the elementary schools was our first wave, because that's where we were getting the complaints. Where there was 1,800 properties that were on these collector and arterial streets that we wanted to go look at. And after the team got back today, they delivered about 100 letters. So of the 1,800, you have a good compliance rate, and we had about 100 people that got the letters. So we'll circle back tomorrow. If you choose to approve this tonight, we'll circle back tomorrow, see who's complied, and if those that haven't complied, then Aaron will begin working on getting a contractor in to clean those areas. We don't want to go do this, right? We want people to do that, so and we have given a week's grace, but we need to have the availability to take quick actions.
Yeah, I've heard of some kids like at Newberry School where you couldn't, when they were walking home, you couldn't walk on the sidewalk. So you'd walk out in the street, but then you'd slide over by the berm where that little thin layer of ice is, right? And that's where the kids are walking. And there's cars just, one kid slips and falls. I mean, it's like, you can't have that expectation out of public safety for your grade school children walking in those sorts of conditions. If it's only a couple of sidewalks that need to be cleared to get the whole lane to go, then we need to have a mechanism for making that happen.
That's what's making news on this Wednesday. The whole crew will be gathering today in the bullpen and get a newscast for you at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Don't forget, you're not locked into those times to watch the news. You can watch it on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, and on our home page. And we archive our newscasts as well. Go to ncwlife.com. And if you go to our homepage, you can also get a hold of us with a preview of tonight's news. Here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, wet weather is headed our way overnight tonight and on Thursday. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has results of last night's high school sports action. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. We appreciate it. If you got a news tip, you want to drop us a note and say hi, look at the bottom of your screen to do it. It's all internet-based, and I am on record, by the way. This whole internet thing is going to be big. It's going to take off. I just bought a whole bunch of stock in AOL. I hope it works. 1 minute break. When we come back, we're talking Seahawks football. Ken Norton Jr. let go yesterday of the defensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks. We'll have that, plus high school sports. It's 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
What's the best way to attract a wide variety of beautiful birds to your backyard? By offering the birds the right foods in expertly designed bird feeders from Wild Birds Unlimited. Whether you've been feeding the birds for a while or are just getting started, let our backyard bird feeding specialists show you how to add a little joy to your life and make nature a part of every day. Shop now for exclusive bird foods, feeders, hardware, and more. Wild Birds Unlimited. Products designed by experts. Trusted local advice.
There are so many possibilities for you to learn local right here at Wenatchee Valley College. Take classes towards a degree or certificate in more than 50 areas of study. Wenatchee Valley College now offers a large variety of virtual classes, including labs, sign language, music, and machining, and they have the resources to help you succeed in virtual classes. So when a college degree is your goal, learn local at Wenatchee Valley College. Just about 22 minutes after the hour, after 4 seasons as the defensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, Ken Norton Jr. let go yesterday. The team making that announcement that Norton would not be returning next year. Also being let go, defensive passing game coordinator Andre Curtis. Now, Seattle's defense was next to last in the NFL in passing yards allowed this year. Coach Pete Carroll said during his interview last weekend on Seahawks Saturday Night that they're going to need to explore changes after that disappointing 7-10 campaign.
We got to make sure and have a really productive offseason, however it takes shape. Last year wasn't like it needs to be, and I'm not exactly sure how we'll be able to tweak that this time around because I don't know what the rules are going to be. We don't know what the protocols are going to be and all that kind of stuff. But we need to have a more productive offseason so we start faster. We need to be on it, and so we're looking at a number of things that will contribute to that.
Of course, in 2020, Seattle won the NFC West. This year, they finished last in the NFC West. Pete Carroll said the difference between last year and this year, finishing games.
It's just the difference between a year ago. We had, I think, 8 games, that came down to it, and we won 7 of them. This year we had 5, and we didn't win any of them, and so that's something like that. I don't know how specific, how straight those numbers are, but it's like that, and it felt like that. We had opportunities. Let's go to the Chicago game. Just win the Chicago game. Just win that game, and finish the game and go home. And we just didn't get that done consistently, and we need to execute better down the stretch. We need to be clear. We need to be more resolved. We need to finish like we finished the last couple weeks, and that'll make a difference.
Now, Russell Wilson. Coach Carroll was on Seahawks Saturday Night. Aaron Levine is the host, and he flat out asked him, is Russell coming back next year?
You think we can get through an offseason without the rumors and speculation? Are we all on the same page here?
I don't know that. I wouldn't try to, I don't want to give you false hopes because there's just so much stuff that can happen, in the offseason. There's unpredictable stuff, but we'll do everything we can to keep it in order and all that. But let me say this, Aaron, that we're going to compete at every turn. That's all we know how to do. That's all John and I have been doing since we got here, and we're not backing off that. We're going to, whatever is there, we got to exhaust the opportunities for our club, and right from the owner. Jody wants us to take a look at every single opportunity to better the franchise and to help us. So that's what we do, and we'll try to take you along with this. I'll try to be as straight as I can with you so you know what's going on as fans, the ship, and all that, because we love you and we want you to be part of what's happening. But it's going to take us. It's going to take us some time to put it all together. It's just as it always is. There's a lot of really difficult decisions that have to be made this time of year, and they start, with the free agents and well before the draft and all that. And so I love this locker room. I love this team and what they bring, leadership, and how much they love to practice and play and work together and play for one another. We've got the nucleus of a championship right here, and so we're going to try to keep that together, and we'll take you with us as we go through it.
On the final 5 games of the season, Seattle finally found its running attack with Rashad Penny. Pete Carroll said the running attack was always there. They just needed to take advantage of it.
I made the statement to our coaches, I don't know, 6 or 7 games into the season, that the blocking consistency that we were demonstrating on the backside of our plays was there to be taken advantage of, and we weren't capturing it. And it took us quite a ways through the season before we really took advantage of it. And then you saw Rashad take off. And, so it was a hard year for us in terms of the running back position because Chris went out early, and then and Alex got going, and then he got the hernia thing that happens, and it slowed him down, and he couldn't get going. And then finally, Penny got back to full health, and he took off and really sparked kind of a surge of kind of realization of what we could do. And the offensive line was there the whole time. And from Dwayne and Posick and those guys, they just kept punching and hung with us. And then finally we get to watch them emerge and really generate some great play in this game of football.
Seattle is reportedly interested in interviewing Denver defensive coordinator Ed Donatel to replace Norton. Seattle's current defensive line coach, Clint Hurt, also may be interviewed for the job. Okay, to the Les Schwab scoreboard we go. They did play some last night. On the boys' side, Davis beat Moses Lake 81-54. Kashmir beat Cascade, and boys basketball 60-41. Chelan no trouble with Omak. Quincy and Manson were canceled. Ephrata edged Othello 61-55. Other scores from Les Schwab in boys basketball: Bridgeport knocked over Wilson Creek. Moses Lake Christian beat Antioch. Okanagan over Oroville. Lake Roosevelt tripped Tenaska. Pateros and Waterville Mansfield a last-minute cancellation there. Girls basketball last night. Davis played his first game in over a month. They had to shut the program down because of COVID. Moses Lake came on top of the Pirates, by the way. Kashmir and Cascade, along with Quincy and Manson, also canceled. Chelan edged Omak. Othello took care of Ephrata. In girls basketball, also Bridgeport beating Wilson Creek. Moses Lake Christian topped Antioch. Libertyville and Brewster canceled, alongside Pateros and Waterville, and Oroville had to forfeit to Okanagan. Girls bowling yesterday. Eastmont beat Sunnyside 4-0 with a total pin count of 1,829 to 1,582. High bowlers for the Wildcats: Katie Hines with a 181, Kate Ferguson with a 174. We are scheduled to broadcast wrestling tomorrow night here on the NCW Live channel, pending testing results for COVID, of course. They test every other day in the athletic programs at the high schools here. Eastmont scheduled to host Wenatchee tomorrow at 7 o'clock at Eastmont High School. Eric Granstrom will be there, provided they are going to wrestle. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Wednesday, the 19th day of January. The obscure holiday of the day today, I think we can all get behind this one. It's National Popcorn Day today. Don't know why it's January 19th. Probably might have something to do with the Super Bowl. A lot of people watch the Super Bowl with a big bag or bowl of buttered and salted popcorn at the ready. I don't know. Man, we eat a lot of popcorn. We eat 17 billion quarts of popcorn every year just in this country. That could fill the Empire State Building from bottom to top 18 times over. A quarter of all the popcorn grown in this country is grown in Nebraska. They grow about 250 million pounds of popcorn, corn to be popped. That's more than any other state. We probably should know that. Unpopped popcorn should not be stored in the refrigerator. The refrigerator will dry out the kernels. The kernels need to be moist in order for them to be popped. So if you got popcorn in your house, you're supposed to store it in the kitchen cupboard in a cool, dry part of the cupboard. It will last much, much longer. Approximately 70% of all the popcorn sold in this country is eaten at home. The rest of it we eat at sporting events or movies or at the office or whatever the case may be. When other businesses failed during the Great Depression, the popcorn business took off because popcorn was cheap. You could buy a bag of popcorn for a nickel or a dime, and it got a lot of people through when they didn't have much money. A nickel or a dime for a bag of popcorn, because sometimes it was all you could afford to eat. By the way, the ideal temperature for popping popcorn is between 400 to 460 degrees Fahrenheit. A kernel will pop on average when it reaches 347 degrees Fahrenheit. Happy National Popcorn Day with lots of salt and lots of butter. Plain popcorn don't do it for me. 30 minutes after the hour, today in history. 77 years ago today, January 19th, 1945, Forces from the Soviet Union, the Red Army, finally made it to Lodz in eastern Poland. The Lodz ghetto was liberated from the Nazis. Lodz in eastern Poland was almost entirely made up of Jews. Of the 245,000 people who lived in Lodz when the Nazis invaded in September of 1945, September of 1939, of those 245,000 people, 6 years later when they were liberated, there was only 877 left. Lodz, liberated by the Soviet forces on the state in 1945. 69 years ago today, January 19th, 1953, one of the iconic television moments in American history. Nearly 74% of all televisions in this country, 44 million people, tuned in to CBS at 9 o'clock on Monday night, January 19th, 1953, to watch the I Love Lucy episode entitled Lucy Goes to the Hospital. Now, by comparison, 44 million people watched that episode. By comparison, the very next day, Dwight D. Eisenhower was inaugurated President of the United States, and between all three networks, only 29 million people watched. Gee, history being made, Lucy giving birth. By the way, on the very same day that show was broadcast, Lucy Goes to the Hospital, January 19th, 1953, Lucille Ball gave birth by cesarean section to Desi Arnaz Jr. January 19th, 1974, 48 years ago today, another instance of two countries fighting over a piece of real estate that means nothing to anybody. China gains control over the Paracel Islands after a military engagement between the People's Republic of China and South Vietnam. The People's Republic of China, Taiwan, and Vietnam all claim ownership of the Paracel Islands. The People's Republic of China actually controls the Paracel Islands. The Paracel Islands is a whole bunch of little bitty islands. You put them all together, it's 3 square miles, and all that lives there are turtles and seabirds. That's about it. It is once again the military equivalent of two bald men fighting over a comb. The hostages were released 41 years ago today. Everybody remembers this. All 52 American hostages that have been held for 444 days, 14 months in captivity, was released when the United States and the Iranian officials came to the agreement. They were released. There were 4 basic parts of the agreement. The U.S. would not intervene politically or militarily in the internal affairs of Iran. Well, we didn't hold up that end of the bargain. The U.S. would remove the frozen Iranian assets and the trade sanctions on Iran. We did do that. Both countries would end litigation between their respective governments and citizens. And finally, Iranian debts to U.S. institutions would be paid by the U.S. The hostages are freed 41 years ago today. Believe it or not, there were no Super Bowls that were ever held on January 19th, but 2 very important games in the NFL were held on this date, January 19th, 2002. 20 years ago today, the Tuck game. In the 4th quarter of the AFC Divisional Playoff game, Tom Brady is sacked by Charles Woodson of the Raiders. He fumbled, apparently. The ball was recovered by the Raiders. If it was a fumble, the Raiders win the game. Officials reviewed the play. They determined that even though Brady had seemingly halted his passing motion, was attempting to tuck the ball back into his body under the rules at the time, it was an incomplete pass. As a result, the original call of the fumble was overturned. The Patriots kept the ball. They kicked a field goal. They forced overtime. They kicked another field goal to win the game. And the Patriots dynasty was born. And from that point forward, the Patriots, with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, would make the playoffs 16 times. They would win the conference championship 11 times and would win 6 Super Bowls. And it all goes to the Tuck. By the way, the head referee of this game, Walt Coleman, the guy who announced that they had overturned the fumble and it was an incomplete pass, Walt Coleman would officiate 265 more NFL games before he retired. 21 of those games that Walt Coleman officiated involved the Patriots. None involved the Raiders. By the way, the Tuck rule is gone. They threw it out back in 2003. So that was the Tuck, and then there was the tip. perhaps, I don't know, if you think about it, this is probably the single most important play in the history of the Seattle Seahawks. We all remember it, the NFC Championship game, 49ers driving. Seahawks ahead 23-17, 30 seconds left in regulations, 49er quarterback Colin Kaepernick throwing a pass to Michael Crabtree in the end zone. Richard Sherman deflected the ball right into Michael Smith's hands for the interception. The Seahawks win. They went on to the Super Bowl. They won that. Think about it. Probably the most important play in Seahawks history, now known simply as the Tip, 8 years ago today. Birthdays at 35 minutes after the hour. Edgar Allan Poe, the short story writer, the poet, and the critic, born to the state in 1809 in Baltimore, died in 1849 at the age of 40 with no money. His is a tragic story, but the words live on. Edgar Allan Poe, born in the state in 1809. Janis Joplin would have been 79 years old today. She didn't make it to 28. She died at the age of 27 in 1970 of a drug overdose, but the music lives on. She's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and on merit, class of 1995. Happy 76th birthday to Dolly Parton, 25. Number one hits on the Billboard Country charts. That's tied with Reba McEntire for the most ever by a female performer. Dolly Parton has had 44 top 10 albums on the country charts, which is the most of all time. Dolly, 76 years old today. And of course, the great South Korean pole vaulter, Kim Yu-suk. Kim Yu-suk, the pole vaulter from South Korea, is 40 years old today. Happy 40th, Kim. Don't forget, it's Winning Wednesday up for grabs. Wenatchee Wild tickets, 2 winners, each gonna win four tickets to any future Wenatchee Wild hockey game. Winner at ncwlife.com. Winner at ncwlife.com. I'll give you one more reminder before this show is over. Going to take a break. Got a brand new opinion from Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and then my conversation with Marriah Thornock and Mike Kintner of Wenatchee Rotary to talk about their big biannual auction. It's coming up on the 29th. That's coming up too. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether. We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
oh my gosh. Nice shot. Look at that.
Nice fish. We're eating tonight, boys.
Work Sharp presents the Northwest Outdoorsman.
Watch for new episodes of the Northwest Outdoorsman on the NCW Life channel, your local TV station.
this is Mike, Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I occasionally get hate mail in the form of actual snail mail sometimes, emails and Facebook posts. Some of it's pretty nasty. Some of it going back to complaining about things I did when I was a police officer, even though I retired over 17 years ago now. And some of it is based on more current events. Now, this is never pleasant. It never is. But I do review every bit of negative input I receive as objectively as possible to see if there is some truth that I need to pay attention to. And although I occasionally do have to reconsider my actions, words, and behavior, sometimes this negative input is just plain nasty and really doesn't apply. Then I tell myself, if you aren't making enemies once in a while, you're also probably not making much of a difference. Anyway, that's what I tell myself. This is Mike, Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion.
When it comes to finding a memory care community, you want the very best. You want to know that your loved one is safe and receiving compassionate care in a loving environment. Fieldstone Memory Care is an innovative assisted living community designed for those with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. You'll find a community specifically designed to enrich residents' lives. The Fieldstone team is here to help you navigate the important decisions you face when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's. Welcome home to Fieldstone.
ColorFX has moved their shop to a larger location to expand their services, including adding in a state-of-the-art large format printer. They got it. You need banners? They got them. You need vinyl decals for your cars, trucks, vans, or trailers in just about any size? Yeah, they got it. ColorFX has also been providing fun swag and clothing for local churches and high schools around our valley for decades. Support your local print shop. Call ColorFX in Cashmere today.
Don't make plans to store your boat for the off-season until you've checked out the Super Package from Bob File Boats and Motors. With this package, you just drop your boat off for winterizing, and they take it from there. When you pick it up in the spring, it'll be ready to go for the next season. There are too many features in the Super Package to list here, so get the details. 509-884-3558.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're on the campus of the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. It was very treacherous for Uriah and I to make it down here, the one block, but we made it. We're in the Clyde Pangborn Hugh Herndon room on the second floor of the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. It has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about, though. What we're talking about is what's going to happen at the Wenatchee Convention Center on Saturday, the 29th day of this month. It is the biannual, they do it every other year, Wenatchee Rotary Auction. It's one of the biggest social events of the winter season. That sounds very snobbish of me. Marriah and Mike, introduce yourself to our television family, please.
Hi, Marriah Thornock, and I'm with the Wenatchee Downtown Rotary, and I am helping out with the auction this year on marketing.
Good. And I'm Mike Kintner, and I'm also with the Wenatchee Rotary, and I am co-chair.
Hi, fellow Rotarians. This is Dory here at the YMCA. I'm here in the Teen Center well before everybody gets here, but wanted to say thank you to all of our 2021 donors, to Partners in Youth, and truly looking forward to January's auction that will support not only our Teen Center, but all of our youth outreach. We are currently in 7 locations in 3 school districts. We have our Teen Center open every day for kiddos 11 to 17 years of age, knowing that most of those kids are 100% scholarship because of the funds that we raise through Partners in Youth and this community auction that we're planning in January. So thank you for all that you do. Know that in our hearts, we get to know exactly who we're serving. But I'll tell you the story of a truly exceptional 11-year-old that we sent to camp this year for 3 weeks 100% scholarship, so that's about a $2,000 scholarship, because he carried that burden of knowing that he could have stopped his dad from killing someone with a gun. And you could see the angst in his eyes and the hurt and the pain, and we changed his life this summer, and it was because of those scholarship dollars. So thank you again. We look forward to January.
Every other year, you get together, you go to all these businesses. My guess is, Mike, getting businesses to donate goods and services, not that hard of a deal, is it?
We have done reasonably well. I could always use more, but we have done reasonably well, and we're really excited about the stuff that we have to auction off. First of all, the theme this year is for the kids, which means the three of us aren't going to benefit any of this stuff. First of all, how do you have to make the decision who gets to benefit this year? Because you raise a lot of money. You raise six figures or more every other year. How do you decide who gets the loot, so to speak? That's a good question. So our board sits and they vet various organizations, and early on in the process, then they say, these are the organizations that we really think we would like to especially benefit this time.
And among those are, you don't have to name them all, Mariah. If you forget, we'll fill in the blanks for you.
Well, one of the things that's close to Wenatchee Rotary's heart is our scholarship program. And so the Wenatchee Rotary Foundation scholarships is one of the recipients. And if you come to the auction, you'll get to see some great videos, or on our Facebook page, you'll get to see some great videos of past scholarship recipients.
Hi, my name is Mariana Santos, and I'm a 2019 Rotary Scholarship recipient. I am a freshman at Gonzaga University, and I am studying mathematics and French for secondary education. I want to thank Wenatchee Rotary Foundation for providing me with the support to further my education here at Gonzaga University. I truly am enjoying my time here. Thank you so much.
Really cool to see what those kids are often doing. Locally, the organizations that we're supporting is Campfire, CASA, and the YMCA.
Three outstanding organizations. Court-appointed special advocates. I can never remember that acronym. All of those folks, of course, have been on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley before. They all do great work, and they all need a little helping hand now and again, don't they?
They do indeed, yeah. And CASA's a new one for us. We've supported the others through the years, but we're really, really glad to be adding CASA this time.
How much manpower does it go for you folks to Downtown Rotary to put this together? My guess is a lot. There's about 100 in your organization? My guess is everybody is doing a lot of work to make this happen.
Wow, that's a tough one to answer. Yes, a lot is probably the best way to answer that.
I would say not only everybody, but we probably pull in some of our friends as well.
Indeed.
Do you think you caught a little bit of a break by doing this every other year? Because obviously, if you had it scheduled on odd-numbered years, you probably would have had it last year, right? I mean, just in theory.
Yeah, probably, yeah. That's probably true. So, yes. I'll just give you a yes on that. How about that?
Is there a goal? Do you set a goal? What is the goal for money for this year? How much you want to rake in?
Yeah. So what we're trying to net is $150,000. That is up from our result last time, which was about 120. But the need obviously is greater these days, and so we're doing our best to try and push that number up. And so far, we're tracking the way that we want to.
How does the auction itself work? Is everything an auction, or they're silent? Is there hold your paddle up kind of stuff? Walk me through that.
Yeah, you know, it really runs the gamut. If you've been to auctions before, you've experienced a silent auction, it's going to be there. If you've been to a live auction, we're going to have a live auction component. We'll have some games throughout there. We're going to have a raise the paddle. So there really will be something for everybody. And I've been really impressed with the procurement of the different silent auction items too. There really does seem to be something there for everybody. If you want to come and spend a couple $100, there's a couple items right there for you for a bunch of different people. If you really want to dive in and support in a larger way, we have some pretty amazing big ticket items as well.
What are some of the big ticket items? The one that you know you're going to rake in some pretty good dough. I know some of it is services, some of it is vacation rentals, stuff like that.
If you're hungry, you need to show up, because we have quite a number of dinners that are themed dinners. There is actually two seafood dinners with lobster and the Atlantic side of things. Gosh, we've got trips. There's a fall leaf experience in New England. There's a trip to Palm Springs.
boy, there is an electric bike, an e-bike that is available. So we've got quite a bit. Pig roast. Boy, there's so much stuff. You'll just have to go online and you can find what it is that we have available.
And speaking of food, you're going to have a huge spread laid out on the 29th. Your ticket will get you a great meal, won't it?
The convention center always does a really nice job with their menus, and so I believe, is it the orchard chicken that's going to be served?
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
The salmon and beef medallions.
Yeah, and then they, of course, they have their bar. There's going to be wine, great drinks. They always pour wonderful drinks, and so if you've been down there and had a good time, you're still going to have a good time because they do a good job of that.
Saturday, the 29th at the Wenatchee Convention Center. It's an all-night extravaganza. Hopefully, if we planted the seed, people are going to go, I'm in. How do I get a ticket? What do I do? How do they go about getting in?
Follow us on Facebook. You can look for our event under Wenatchee Rotary on Facebook. Not only will you be able to find tickets, we're doing sneak peeks of some of the really great stuff we're going to be rolling out. You can check out videos from our recipients. That's a great wealth of information. Or if you go to WenatcheeRotary.org and go to the auction tab, a lot of the same stuff is there. You can buy your tickets, you can check out what all of our silent auction item and live auction items are, and sneak a peek of all of our recipients there as well.
And before I forget, because we love our friends, we love all the service clubs. They all do great work. Rotarians, Lions, Exchange, you name it. We talked about this before we rolled tape. Let's get some folks joining your organization. You do great work. Rotary's reputation is worldwide. We know that. And yet we have seen it. The research is there. The numbers are there. The membership is down, not just in your organization, but across the board. How do we stop that tide and get folks to come in and join not just Rotary, but any of the great service clubs that are all over North Central Washington? What do we do? How do we get more people involved in Rotary?
Rotary's theme is service above self, and we're very proud of quite a number of projects that we have in the Wenatchee Valley. Of course, the Rotary Park that most people are familiar with and use liberally, and that's wonderful. The Nile Saunders steam train depot that is down on the waterfront, that was a Wenatchee Rotary project. There's various art pieces that we've been involved with. The lights at the softball field at Wenatchee Valley College, that was a Rotary project. We are very involved with Westside High School. There are lots and lots of different activities that we're involved with, and you don't necessarily have to be in attendance every Thursday to get involved, because there are so many different opportunities for folks to be involved. And we just simply want to make a difference, not just here, but throughout the world. Polio, you may be familiar with the Polio Plus project. Polio, we're down to 2 countries with 1 live case that has been determined in the last 12 months. And Rotary has pushed that project for many, many years, came out of Wenatchee. If you want to make a difference in people's lives, get involved with a service club. Rotary is a great club. There are other great clubs in this valley, and we'd love to have you come join us. It's a great group of people, and we do good work.
And by the way, I've spoken to almost every service club in town. They also have a lot of fun. That's the one thing I noticed. When you guys get together for your Thursday meetings, you're also having a good time too.
Yeah, it's a great group of people getting together with a common cause of wanting to make an impact and change in their community and throughout the world. And whether it's the traditional meetings or it's the different committees, that's really where my juices get flowing, and I get excited because it's like-minded people who want to make a change. We get to talk about hand washing stations in Haiti, or a new bike park down at the waterfront, and we're all excited about that. And then we find other things that are in common, whether we just like biking in general or we enjoy different sports activities. So it really does feed off of each other, and I do think that once you get past the traditional idea of what a service club is, you'll get to see how much more there really is.
And the only skill set you need to join Rotary or any other service club is just one: give a damn. That's it. If you give a damn, you're in. They'll take care of you from there. Again, the 29th of this month at the Wenatchee Convention Center, doors open at
5 o'clock.
There you go. They'll serve you drinks. Well, you're on your own for buying your drinks, but they'll serve you dinner. Bring your cash and get ready to raise about $150,000. All of the money stays local. And kudos to picking out those 3 great organizations. They deserve it, and we love them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking time out from your otherwise busy day and spending time with me.
Yeah, thank you. We're excited to see everybody on the 29th.
Anytime you need me, you know where to find me.
And I got a ticket for you if you want to come down.
Do you?
Yeah.
I didn't bring my wallet, but it's a deal. You got it. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
GMC Sierra with hands-free driving offers the most advanced and luxurious pickup in its class. Yeah, it rocks.
Hello, North Central Washington. I'm Dave Tosh, Executive Director at Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, and I'm excited to announce a new variety show entitled Vibrant Living, brought to you by the Senior Center, and I think you'll find it educational, informative, and a lot of fun. Join us for the new program, Vibrant Living.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow. We have live bands to rock the night away, comedy to make you laugh, and if that's not enough, we have poker every Monday and Wednesday night. Club Crow in Cashmere has it all. Check out our Facebook event page for dates and times. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
I'm holding them in my sweaty hands. These could be yours. Wenatchee Wild tickets again up for grabs on Winning Wednesday. Set of four. Any regular season Wenatchee Wild game you want to go to, you want to go for free? This is a good value. Email me, winner@ncwlife.com, winner@ncwlife.com. The usual rules apply. It's one entry per email address. So if you have more than one email address, and a lot of people do, you can enter more than once. It's just one entry per address. Yes, we keep track of these things. If you do not enter, you cannot win the contest. Very important. And finally, of course, employees of local telecommunications solely on broadcasting and their media families are not eligible. Sorry, Jill. Okay, winner@ncwlife.com. We'll do the drawing sometime during the day today. We kind of wing it. If you watch this show, you know I wing the whole show. Finally, a change in this gray, cloudy, foggy, yucky weather. It's coming. We're going to have to deal with this one more time. And then a change is coming our way. A frontal system is going to arrive overnight tonight. It's going to scour out the inversion layer. It's going to mix everything up. It's going to make us clear right on out of here. But before we get there, as you see, look at those 3 pink stars, one representing Waterville, one representing the Wenatchee Valley, and one representing the Columbia Basin. We could see some freezing rain. It's a possibility as we make that transition. Freezing rain, snow, and then it switches right on over to rain from the National Weather Service. Here we go. One more day of this stuff. Cloudy, foggy, gray, is meh even a word? They say 37, and we were supposed to get there yesterday. We weren't even close to that. So anyway, tonight is when things start happening. This is when that frontal system will start arriving. We'll be getting ready to the gloomy, cloudy days, and we'll have partly cloudy skies by Thursday afternoon, considerably warmer with some rain during this transition period on Thursday. And then high pressure reestablishes itself, but with clear skies, that means sunshine Friday, Saturday, with cooler temperatures, but we'll take the sun. That is it for us. Have a great Woody Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.